Welcome to day 48. We're following up on the keys, right? If you recall, we talked earlier about the one thing, right? And we talked about the keys supporting the one thing. And today we're going to dive in just a little bit deeper. And once we've established, as we have, that we're breaking down the four action items that we have to do to accomplish the one thing, and once we've established the that the item actually will accomplish the one thing, we then need to put a time frame to this, right? We need to ask the questions. Once we've asked the questions, we need to apply a what, why, when, how to each one of those actions, right? For example, we asked yesterday, what is the first thing that must be done? And we've established what must be done. We've established why it must be done. Today we're going to take it a little bit farther and push for the next question, and that is, when will it be done, right? We have to put a timeline, deadline to that. And the final question, a subpart of that, is going to be how. How are we going to do that? Now that's going to apply to every area every time we ask that question. Once again, we ask ourselves, specifically, a little bit of review. We ask ourselves, why is that the first thing? In some instances, why is it the second thing? Why is it the third? But why is it the first thing that needs to be done? When will I accomplish it, right? So again, what, why, when? And the final one is going to be how. How will I accomplish that? Now this is going to be a question under each key, right? So in the end, we're going to have what, why, when, how 4 times. What, why, when, how is the first action. What, why, when, how is going to be the second action. What, why, when, how is going to be the third action. What, why, when, how is going to come under the fourth action, or the fourth key under the that supports the one thing, right? Again, specifically what? We chose that in yesterday's lesson, right? We chose the one thing that we're going to done. We put them in order. What is the first thing that needs to be done? What is the second thing that needs to be done? What is the third thing that needs to be done? Fourth, and so on. We asked, in part, we answered the question why. Why is it first? But we didn't answer the other second part of that question. The other part of the why is, why does that have to be done, right? And maybe that goes without saying, but I think we need to say it here, right? What, why, when, how. And we need to answer those questions all the way through, not just why is it first, but why does it need to be done at all? When. Now this is an element that we're going to add to yesterday's, right? Because when matters because at the end of the week, we have this goal, we have this one thing, so it matters in sequence, right? To when is step one going to be done, that we can build on that. Not that we can't start several actions at one time, but it's a building process, right? We need action one finished so we can finish action two, and right, and that's part of the way we sequence these in order, right? But when is a key element to any goal, any target, anything. When is it going to happen? We obviously can't wait till Friday night at midnight on all these items, right? So we want to get some time perception and put these in order where they can actually function. The last of these items is how. Now we didn't actually address how we're going to do all these items. We've just simply established that they need to be done, and they need to be done in this order, and they need to be done in this time. But we didn't actually address how we're going to do that. What this does is it opens up some space beneath that we can actually maybe have subtitles, and we may be tempted to say, okay, let's have 5 steps. We'll break these steps down to 5 or 6 or 8 or 10. But this dilutes the situation. What we can do under each one of these what's, first action, second action, is we can have another series of actions underneath those, right? We can have this little subset of maybe 4 actions underneath that will accomplish the first item. Maybe we can have 1 or 2 under the second, and so on. But we don't want to expand this beyond the basic 4 keys, right? So what we can do in a subset is we can say how, or we don't need a subset. We just need to have a clear vision on how we're going to actually do that. So in review, we want to go through. We want this to do a little bit, or create a little bit of a habit here, right? What, why, when, how. What, why, when, how. What, why, when, how. And we want this to become instinctual, right? And it seems like a little bit of work, maybe initially, to put this all in order. But like anything, once it becomes a habit, it just becomes second nature, and all this stuff flows. And that's obviously the object of this whole game. We want to be able to put a one thing together. We want to know that the keys that we put together to support the one thing uh, are going to be functional, actually accomplish the one thing, and they have some direction. What we want to, underneath each one of those, we want to address the questions: what, why, when, how. Because in the end, the one thing isn't left to chance, right? It's we want a pathway to get there without gap, without, um, and we want that with absolute certainty. So, once again, your assignment is going to teach this, right? If you can't teach it, you don't know it. If you don't know it, you can't live it. And along with the other things at the bottom of this page, we will talk to you tomorrow on day 48.